Hi, my name is Rodell, and I wrote the story Lamb to the Slaughter, which the narrative perspective was told from the third person limited. Third person limited is when the narrator only knows the thoughts and feelings of one specific character. All the other characters are described using pronouns such as they, he, or she. But one specific character is closely followed throughout the story, in which that is typically the main character. The story Lamb to the Slaughter was told from the point of view of Mary Maloney. The reason why the story has been told from Mary Maloney, which is the third person, is because it is from the point of view of the murderer. Since it is an interesting choice and the one that largely defines the story. Therefore, the reader only knows what she knows. For example, at the end of the story, the reader knows more than the other characters, especially in relation to the leg to the lamp of the lamp. On the other hand, the reader is not given access to the reasoning behind Patrick's decision to leave. This makes it far easier for the reader to be on Mary's side since she makes questionable decisions. Finish. Magnus?
No.
I'm not reading that.
My name is Edgar Allan Poe, and I have written the short story The Telltale Heart. The narrative perspective of this story is a first person, which is when the story is being told from typically the main character's point of view. Um, I chose to write this story in first person because I believe that first person narrative is notably more engaging for the readers to read than third person limited. The readers reading first person can get to connect with the main character at a much deeper level and even emotional level, and actually understand what problems and issues the character is going through and what exactly is going through their heads as if it was themselves. Um, this attaches the reader to the character, and the readers want to keep on reading to see what the character will eventually develop into. First person perspective also causes a lot of suspense and tension to build up throughout the story. An example of this is when the unnamed character says, "True, nervous, very, very dreadfully nervous I had been and am, but why will you say that I am mad?" This causes tension to build up and makes the story more eventful and engaging for the reader because the reader gets to experience exactly what the character is going through. Again, like it was themselves.
Um, from what you just said, I believe that I would like to suggest that the third person limited narration is more better than the first person limited. This is because in the third person limited, the point of view gives a writer more freedom than the first person point of view. For example, in the first person point of view, the writer must use I, and every moment is seen through a single character's eye. Background information about other characters can't be shared unless the main character learns it firsthand, since everything is seen through his or her eyes. If a story is instead told in a third person, which is my Lamb to the Slaughter, my book, a little more information can be shared since all the characters are being discussed as if they are all being looked down on by the reader, rather than seen through one character's eye. Therefore, I believe that the third character is more better than the first person. Also, for the first person, it is told from the perspective of only one narrator. The story is by its nature biased by the filter of the character telling the story. This creates the literary problem referred to as an unreliable character. Therefore, first person character narrator is unreliable, but third person can be reliable.
Regarding what you said that third person limited is more effective than first person, um, I would like to point out that in third person limited, the reader cannot connect on a really deep level to the main character that it's following. Because in third person limited, the reader feels that he's looking at the character and not rather than being the character, which causes lack of intimacy between the reader and the characters. Um, this makes the whole story less engaging because you don't develop these feelings um, for the characters, and you won't care as much for them. Where in first person, you can connect and really care about one specific character, making it more interesting to follow along on. And you said that.
What?
Never mind.
From what you just said, that it is more engaging, than the third person. I would like to point out that in the first person point of view, the reader hears all the protagonist's thoughts and everything is filtered through their perception. The reader only gets one interpretation of events. For example, John Gardner writes that first person locks us in one character's mind, locks us to one kind of diction throughout, locks out the possibilities of going deeply into various characters' mind, and so forth. So therefore, it is important to understand other characters' motivation in your novel. If so, first person may not be the right choice. This brings us to my next point that says that why my story Lamb to the Slaughter is more engaging. This is because my story is more engaging and effective due to that it creates dramatic irony. Dramatic irony occurs when the audience has knowledge of something that some of all the characters do not, and because of the words or actions have a different meaning. In Lamb to the Slaughter, the reader knows that Mary Maloney, having been told by her policeman husband that he is leaving her, has killed him with a frozen leg of lamb. The dramatic irony occurs when she cooks the lamb and serves it to the men investigate her husband's death, while they speculate about what the murder weapon might have been and where it could be. In fact, one of them remarked the evidence they are seeking is probably. For example, the quote, right under their noses, the reader knows they are eating the very weapon they are seeking. This is dramatic irony. Furthermore, third person, sometimes the narrator doesn't convey these facts at all, but sticks with describing the character's external behavior rather than the character's internal feelings. This leaves a lot of room for reader's interpretation, where a character's personality is presented as something of a mystery. This also creates a sense of drama because the reader is kept in the dark about the same thing the protagonist is. With third person limited, the writer can create twist and revelation, which is why my story is really effective and really engaging.
Okay. Well, the Telltale Heart is more engaging and effective because first person causes the suspense and tension to build up throughout the story, which makes it more interesting and engaging for the reader to read because they want to keep on reading to see what unfolds because of the suspense and tension. Think of it as a roller coaster. In third person limited, you're looking at the people enjoying the ride, where in first person you are actually experiencing the ride yourself. That is how first person captures the reader's attention and keeps the reader attached to the story, where third person doesn't do this at the same effectiveness.
Thank you.
Capo, not cap.